Ask any athlete and they'll tell you the same thing. It's not about winning or getting to the podium. It's about when you lose and you fail and how you pick yourself back up and move forward. Welcome to this week's episode of the Synergy Code Podcast, the handsomest podcast in the Treasure Valley.
I am Brandon Johnson.
I'm Tyler Rekla, and this is the Synergy Code Podcast.
I like that opening, by the way.
Like that one?
Yeah, I like that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I like it.
So today we're going to talk about failing forward.
Okay.
Not just in athletics or in sports, but life in general. So everyone has heard the famous thing from Michael Jordan that he missed more than 9,000 shots and lost over 300 games, but it was why he succeeded, right? It's not about how you fail. It's about it's not about when you fail. It's about how you fail and move forward with it.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of the Wayne Gretzky. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, or Michael Scott. You miss the one shot that you don't take 100% of the time. You know,
I don't know who
how
that
the
is.
turntables. It's The Office, dude.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
I've never watched it.
God. All right. Well, this episode's already been off the rails.
No, God, please, no, 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 no!
I don't know who Michael Scott is. Is that Steve Carell's character?
It is Steve Carell's character from The Office.
Anyway,
So
there was a study done. Sports psychologist Dennis Hugh notes that 6 in 10 top athletes suffer from emotional collapse, shame, or worse after failure, highlighting the need for resilience in support systems. And that goes with sports, with entrepreneurial stuff, right? So even back when I was competing, I never looked at failing a lift as a missed opportunity, right? Or just a missed lift. It was an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for some sort of correction. I knew I needed to get stronger or look at a technique different, whatever it was. My training protocol maybe needed to change, or I just need to stay at it, right? I think that's very important in today's society, especially where a lot of people just fail and they just stop. I don't think enough people know how to fail forward, if you will.
No, that makes sense. And that saying failing forward is actually pretty prevalent in the leadership circles. I know when I originally was starting to get trained and starting to get into the whole coaching realm, I went to a conference down in Orlando called the IMC, the International Maxwell Conference. And it took me 3.5, 4 years to get the military to basically sponsor me to go to that. But not only me, I took 8 people with me. And what was awesome about it is when they finally allowed me to go, I was telling my my mentor, who was with me for 4 years trying to get me the right wordage to get it paid for. I was talking to her and she goes, you know, it was funny. I was talking to John Maxwell and Mark Cole, who's the CEO of the Maxwell Enterprise. And I was telling them about your story, how you're in the military and how you fought for 4 years basically to get you and 8 people to come. And now you're finally here. And so as I was telling that story, she was like, hey, when you go into the alumni room, there's going to be an opportunity to stand up and talk. If John's there, share it. So I did. And part of the things was, he asked me was, why did you not back down from the first time they told you no? And the reason why, and I look at it like from the sports arena, from business entrepreneurship, from just wanting more and better, is no to me is the next opportunity. Just because you tell me no now, that doesn't mean that's the end all be all. It's how else can I ask it again to where it really hits your pain point to where
no is never a hard no. Usually it's a no, not right now.
Yeah.
Or no, you don't have the prerequisites to do said thing.
Absolutely.
Right? It's if I tell you no, if you had a proposition for me and I say no, it's okay, cool. My value is not high enough for them to recognize and say yes yet.
Yep.
How do I get my value higher? Right.
Absolutely.
And that's the same thing with athletics too. It's when you fail, it's not you failed, you suck, you can never do that. It's like, I don't have the prerequisites to do that said thing. Right. I think a lot of that starts back in youth sports. You notice that with a lot of kids who play, especially a multitude of different sports. I'm a very big fan of having kids, especially at a young age, like pre-high school age, be in different athletics, different sports, because it teaches them different aspects of different walks of life, right? Because you can be in football or basketball or baseball and have a team aspect, And it's not just about you. You have to rely on the team. So when the team fails, you fail. You're only as strong as your weakest link, right? If the team's not succeeding, how do you pick not only yourself up, but the whole team up, right? And that translates to business as well. If you are an entrepreneur and you're hiring people and you have a team that you have to lead and they're not succeeding, that should always fall back on you as the team lead or as the owner, right? Yeah. You never look at them and say, they suck, they're failing, it's their fault. No, how can I provide better for them? What am I doing? How am I not setting them up for success, right? Yep. And then the other aspect is doing individual sports like wrestling, or as you get older, or gymnastics, or different strength sports like CrossFit and stuff like that. Then accountability is 100% on you. Mm-hmm. And same thing back into the entrepreneurial world. You might run a business. You, for example, that you're not hiring anybody. It is 100% on you. If you fail, you have nobody but yourself to blame.
Yep.
Right.
No, and that's a very good point. And what you bring up the conversation is to go a little bit more into the extreme ownership of, if you fail as the leader, you got to take it on the chin and you got to take it back to the drawing board and figure out why you failed. But you got to be humble enough to allow people to tell you, hey, you missed this. You didn't execute it this way. You said you were going to do this, but you didn't. And it's funny that this is the theme of today's episode because of our previous conversation when we had a one-on-one today with a potential new member of our BNI chapter, in the fact of, she asked me, well, what do I do? And you were like, well, it's kind of weird because Brandon doesn't really know what he does. And I can't really say what he does. And to a point, true, because the way I explained it was, I can't tell you everything that I can do for you, because then that means I'm not listening to you. That means I'm not listening to what you actually need, because I can sit here on this podcast or in any networking event and be like, I can help anybody and everybody get better mindset, better teamwork, better cohesion, better culture, better communication, better clarity. But if they're not even looking for those 4 C's, then why would they continue to listen to me?
Right.
So it's hard for me to be like one. You
can lead a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink.
Yep. Absolutely. And to be a little bit vulnerable, that's exactly what I'm struggling with right now. Everybody admits that they need what I offer. They just don't want to put in the work.
To be fair, I know how to sell you now.
Yeah.
I just didn't use it.
No, I know.
But I do know how to sell you. Yeah. Kind of know what you
I love the fact, and I love it when people think that it's a waste of time, a waste of investment and energy.
Well, gives you an opportunity to prove them wrong.
Absolutely. Well, and it's great because we're talking about sports athletes. And one of the frameworks that I use, I got this framework from The Ideal Life. They built it off of the idea of, what do you do after you make that achievement? Michael Phelps was the greatest swimmer.
Yeah. So we're kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but yeah, let's get into that's a real thing when you have people that succeed at a very high level and they do the thing that they sought out to do. And now all of a sudden it's like, then what? What do you do after that?
Yeah.
You have to have an ongoing goal, because those people that are highly, highly motivated they may or may not achieve that goal, but once they do, then what? Yep. And if you don't have something to set your sights on, you just kind of lose purpose in life, right?
Yep.
I've seen it. My dad's older, and so I've grew up around a lot of the older generation, and I've seen it in person where a lot of his peers and friends and stuff, they'd retire and then they just die.
Yeah.
They don't have purpose in life. My dad's 77 years old, and he's still doing fairly well because he actually still works. He's been retired since he was 65, but he still works.
Yeah.
And so he still has that purpose. He's out every day in his yard doing yard work, where a lot of people, they retire, is like, cool, that's it. I'm just going to sit inside and have a beer and watch TV.
Yeah.
And then they die because they don't have a sense of purpose.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're not trying to achieve anything.
There's nothing left to achieve. No. They've accomplished it. They've done the Michael Phelps thing.
Oh yeah.
They won their goal. They retired. That's it. They didn't have anything set aside afterwards.
Well, and the thing about Michael Phelps too is he was told how many times throughout his life that achieving Olympic stardom is statistically ain't going to happen.
Right.
Right. But he worked his ass off and he got it. And you're leading on to something that, what was his response after the lights turned off and the confetti stopped falling? Right. He didn't have an answer because he thought he was untouchable because he was on top of the world. And the thing is that doesn't only happen to the 1%ers of the athlete world. That happens to just average Joe Schmoes walking the streets, the Kevins and the Karens walking down the street. Because if they believe the big lie that happiness is at the end of all achievements, then they're going to be set up for failure and they're going to be set up for disappointment, because the 3 pillars that Michael Phelps fell into is drugs and alcohol, depression, and he even contemplated suicide. Michael Phelps, the best athlete in our generation in the Olympic world, right? Because
not according to you.
Yeah, not according to me, right? But he fell into those 3 pillars.
Yes.
And that strikes a chord with me, because we and you were talking a couple weeks ago on and off about like this program that I created with my buddy out in South Carolina called Thrive in Transition. And that's exactly what we're trying to combat with separating and retiring veterans, in the aspect of giving them a sense of identity, a sense of purpose, a sense of who they are when the uniform comes off. So who are you when you leave your corporate job? What's your new identity? And a lot of people are afraid to put in the work to find it, because they don't know what the unknown is going to show them, what they just spent 20, 30 years about.
Well, I think a lot of it has to come down to is having compassion and empathy for yourself too. Because a lot of people don't.
Yep.
Athletes, military, athletes, high-level athletes and military are very much the same in that aspect. They are very critical on themselves.
Yep.
When you fail at something, it's because you suck, you weren't good enough, blah, 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 right? Whereas you should have a little bit of compassion, because we all fail, we all have setbacks, but it's how do you take that setback and that failure and move forward with it? And if you don't have that compassion and empathy to sit back and be like, okay, cool, I didn't do what I set out to do.
Yeah.
What could I have done better? Or was it, was everything in my control? If so, cool, I need to be better. If not, it's like, maybe look at those aspects. Like maybe not 100% of it was in your control, and it is what it is.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do is when you get to that level of that mental acuity of I'm the best in the profession that I'm at, you think you're alone, and you think other people can't connect with you because they don't deal with the same struggles.
Mm-hmm.
They don't think the same way. They're not depressed over something that you're getting depressed about, that you don't understand what you're currently getting depressed about. And to go back into my realm of the military, there's so many people, not into separating veterans, but just the people that I've coached so far in the professional world, they're hitting the same 3 pillars and they're trying to figure out life. And the problem is we grow up getting told, hey, set your goals, set your SMART goals. And once you achieve it, cool, then just go and figure out another goal. Well, it's not that easy. And like you said, you gotta set the goals of that you always want to achieve. Well, we call that legacy. What's your legacy?
Right.
And encourage people to positively look at what is the legacy that you're leaving behind? What is your history book going to
will people remember you?
Write about you when you're long gone 100 years from now? And that's the key.
Like
on failing forward.
No one will remember your name.
Yeah.
That is why no one will remember your name.
Yeah.
Right. Why do people remember your name?
Yeah.
What do you want your name to be remembered for?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you have to think about those things moving forward.
Yeah.
Right? Back when I was competing, I had a shoulder injury, always did. So when I would do a competition and I failed at a overhead lift, I did have that compassion for myself, because I knew no matter what I did, my shoulder was only capable of so much. Right. So I was really good about that. But other things, if it was a deadlift or something I was traditionally good at and I failed that, I'd beat myself up for the next month. Right. Because you expect the best out of yourself, especially if you want to leave that legacy behind.
Yeah.
You want people to, I wanted to be remembered for being a kick-ass strongman competitor, doing all the things that I was never able to do. And so you beat yourself up for that. Even when I was forced retired because of my injury, I beat myself up for it because I wasn't able to accomplish what I set out to do in the strongman world.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of goals, never hit any of them, but I couldn't. I physically couldn't. But I still beat myself up for it.
So what do you want to be known for?
Now?
Yep.
Well, like we've talked about before, I want to be known for what I do professionally now. Changing the world professionally, both in my industry and just changing the world in general, of how people think about my industry, of helping people, get through pain and injury and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To be able to perform, to be able to do the things that I couldn't do because I didn't have the right people in my corner.
Yeah.
Right. I want to be that person in someone else's corner.
Yeah.
That's what I want top tier to be like, hey, that's the place you go to when, your shit don't work.
Yeah. You need the best of the best.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Well, and I've been tossing around this idea before I even knew what we were going to talk about today, because I've been struggling a little bit with the ebbs and flows of being a business owner, right? And what do I want to be known for in the aspect of the legacy that I'm going to leave behind? A lot of people that knew me 5 years and beyond ago know me as a military guy. Well, I'm not that anymore. I'm a veteran, but I'm not a military guy anymore. So what do I want to be known for? Do I want to be known as someone who's rich and famous and makes a bunch of money and is on a bunch of stages and writes a bunch of books? No, not really. What I want to be known for is someone who is approachable and someone that anyone and everyone is able to come up and talk and be like, hey, I heard you know XYZ. Can you make a connection? Absolutely. Why? Because I want everyone to know that my mantra is I'm a person who empowers connection, and I truly want to connect you with whoever will make you more successful. And if that doesn't include me, that's okay. But if that makes you successful, that fills my cup.
How much self-reflection do you practice?
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. Well, and I try to journal 750 words. And that self-reflection, I give myself self-affirmations, and I ask myself my 5 emotional audit questions to set my mind right for each day.
Cool. Yeah.
So,
there's a lot of really good research that shows, like, if you have that I do too. If you have that self-reflection, you actually take time to self-reflect on whether it's your day, what you accomplished, whatever it is, some sort of self-reflection, it builds resilience.
Yep.
And I think that's because you have a bigger picture of the overall scheme of things, right? You're not just laser focused or tunnel vision on the one thing.
Yep.
And so when that one thing, that thing you're laser focused on doesn't go right, you're like, cool, here's the bigger picture though. And I think it's important to have that self-reflection, whether it's just taking a couple minutes out of the day to do it, or like you said, waking up every morning and making a habit of it, and journaling and having the what was the other thing you said? Words of affirmation and what?
My emotional audit.
What is that?
So my emotional audit is what I encourage everyone to try. It's 5 questions. The first 2 questions are the easiest questions. It's, what are you thinking in the moment? What are you thinking in one sentence, right? They're short, straight to the point answers. What are you thinking in the moment right now when you ask yourself that question? Second question, what are you feeling? What are you feeling right now? Are you feeling, so if you're thinking, I am busy, I got my schedule booked, all this great stuff, fun stuff. I don't know if I'm going to have enough time in the day to accomplish everything I'm setting up to do. And then you ask yourself, what are you feeling? Are you feeling a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of depression, a little bit of scaredness, a little bit of excitement, a little bit of like hopefulness that that call is going to come in, that you're going to get that contract or whatever. And then the last 3 questions is the meat and the potatoes of the aspect of, what do you truly want? Right. And this is where last episode where we had talked about when I was like, I want professional adults to start being freaking selfish. Because if you never ask what you truly want, not what you want for your family, for your organization, for your business, but what do you truly want? That self-reflection, that self-affirmation doesn't mean shit, right?
Yeah.
And so when we look at it and you ask yourself, what do you want? I tell people to set it off in a timeline of, what do you want from now to 7 days from now? So just 1 week time, right? Because then the 4th question is simple. It's, how are you getting in your own way? So how are you getting in your own way to stop you from achieving that want, that goal between now and 7 days from now? And then the 5th question is, well, how do we remove you from getting in your own way? So how do we stop you from enabling your excuses to stop you from getting to your goal? Because once you write that down and understand it and you visually see it, now you're a little bit more like, aware of what you're doing and what's
that's
occurring.
all part of that self-reflection.
Yeah.
Right.
Manifestation.
Yep. Yeah. It's all part of that self-reflection, manifestation, but it's what you have that time to, look outward rather than inward.
Yep.
And I think that's what, it builds, like I said, it builds that resilience, but it also helps manage stress. Because if you don't have that, stress gets to you very, very easily.
Yep.
Right. I think people that do a better job managing stress just have a higher mental resilience than a lot of other people.
Yeah.
And you see that a lot now, this day and age, right? A lot of, especially the younger generation, it was probably our generation that screwed that up, but it was a lot of coddling that happened.
Yep.
Right.
Participation trophies.
The participation trophy generation. And so you don't see a lot of that mental resilience anymore, because if they don't get their way, they throw a fit.
Yep.
Right. And if you could take that time to have that self-reflection, it builds that resilience to be able to deal with the stressors that are completely, most of the time, out of your control.
Yeah.
Most of the time people are getting stressed out about things they have zero control over.
Oh yeah.
I'm very guilty about this, and I think I do better than most.
Yeah. No, I'm guilty too.
Yeah.
And I try to remind myself that the only thing that I can control is not the outcome, but the way I react to whatever's thrown at me, whatever outcome comes out of the way I acted, right? Because if I go to a meeting, if I go to a one-on-one, or if I go to a networking event, if I go on stage and I react completely off the chain, completely off kilter of what I originally am, then that's a result of me not preparing properly, right? Therefore, it goes back to what you said earlier. As a solo entrepreneur, really, if you fail, it's not because the clients didn't like what you were doing or what you were selling. It was the fact of
you didn't offer enough value.
You didn't offer enough value, or you didn't articulate it enough to where people were like,
same thing.
Holy
That's
crap.
the same thing. Not offering enough value can be you literally don't have the value, or you didn't communicate it.
Yep.
It's the same thing. It doesn't matter what the means were to the end. It's the end result that you achieved. And the end result that you achieved is not having clients. And we'll use you for example. It is you did not provide enough value.
Yep.
And that could be in a literal sense, or because you weren't good enough to articulate what your value is. You might have the value, but if you can't communicate it, it doesn't matter what the hell you're offering. It's not worth a shit.
No, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters the means to get from A to B on that situation. It's just, how did you get there?
Now let's just put that out there. You're not saying that I don't offer value.
No, that was
like
just,
you just completely
that was a hypothetical.
tanked. So my
hypothetical
failure is your
situation.
fault. I'm just
You
kidding.
suck.
I'm just
Do
kidding.
better.
All right, do better.
All right. So we have this practical playbook I want to go over here.
Okay.
Right. So this is the athletic 5-step framework.
I like it.
So the first one is feel the loss. Let the emotional sting land, because that's what fuels reflection.
That's good.
That one's a cool one. I like that one a lot, because again, I think people, when you fail, or when somebody fails, an athlete, and specifically, they just gloss over. It's like, cool, move on. Yes, move on, but also feel the sting of that loss. Like, no, you lost. No, you weren't good enough to achieve your end result. Go back to your solo entrepreneurship. Let's say you didn't get the client you wanted. You can't just gloss over and be like, whatever, on to the next day. You have to move on, but you still have to feel that loss. You have to feel like, this sucked. I don't want to feel this again.
Yep.
How do I not feel this again?
Yeah.
Right.
No, absolutely. Well, and the feel the loss is good because it's simple and straight to the point of, if you don't feel it, then, and you just gloss over it, like you said, and you compartmentalize it, then you're not going to recognize, where did you fail? Where did you miss read?
Where was the opportunity?
Where did you opportunity miss that you could have taken in order to connect with that client or with that individual to really get them in through the doors and just hear you speak?
The next one is rest and reset. So use controlled downtime for emotional and physical recalibration.
More than 4 hours a night?
And that's not necessarily what the rest portion is, but yes, more than 4 hours of sleep a night is what you're alluding to. No, it's use that controlled downtime for, like, after it's specifically talking post achievement, post event, right? So in the athletic world is you just completed a competition that you've been prepping for 12 weeks, right? You may have something lined up, which most people do, but you're probably not jumping into that immediately the next second after the first competition ended. You might have at least a day or two or a week or so to have that rest and that downtime, so you can, look back on your emotions, enjoy your win if you won, or, reflect on that loss and try to develop from there. And the same thing with entrepreneurship, right? You gain that client, that big time client, or you fail that big time client. Yes, you're jumping into the next one, and it may not be the same realm as the athletic space where, like, you might have a week or two before. You may only have minutes, but reflect on those minutes.
Yeah.
Like, take that downtime, whether it's a few minutes, a few days, or a few weeks, to really reflect. Use that for your control your emotions and reflect on your emotions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and those emotions can drive you to success or to failure, depending on how you allow them to control the way that you pitch your next pitch or you present yourself to the next group. Because if you're all mopey and you're like, man, I suck, this isn't going to work for me. I suck at business ownership or suck at lifting or suck at whatever, then you're going to put that mood out there and people are going to feel it and they're going to be like, I don't
know as soon as you walk through that door. If you walk into a room with 12 people, all 12 of them are going to know.
But the coolest thing though is when you think of like the best motivational speakers, the best sports talks, the best like get you into the feels and really get you to feel like you can conquer anything. It's after someone fails.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I think of like the Jets, Herm Edwards, the Jets head coach back in the day, and he's like, you play to win the game, you know? You play
that was
to win.
Romeo Crennel when he was the coach of the Cardinals.
No, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was Jets, Herm Edwards.
Oh, no. You're right.
Yeah.
It was Romeo Crennel when he was like, we had them and we let them win. And he smacks the podium.
We knew exactly who they were.
Yeah.
They knew exactly
that's
who we
what it
were.
was.
Yeah.
Who was the guy that was playoffs?
New York Giants. I don't know the coach.
No, it was the Colts. It was Jim Mora.
Yeah, Jim Mora.
Yeah.
Playoffs? Talking about playoffs?
And that kind of leads right into the next one. So review the tape.
Yeah.
And I don't mean a literal tape. It's exactly what you were saying. Analyze your choices, your mindset, and your preparation from your previous whatever it was.
Yep.
So in a competition or athletic sense, it was that previous competition.
Yep.
Review the tape. How was your preparation? Did you complete your preparation to 100% capacity?
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't, that's probably a very good place to start, is when you come up with a plan, right? You want that plan to succeed, you have to achieve it or 100%.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're leaving room on the table for failure, right? Same thing with entrepreneurship. Let's say you have a pitch into a client. You didn't deliver the pitch that you wanted to deliver. You didn't achieve it at 100%. You left room for failure on the table.
Oh, yeah. Well, and what I like to do is like, so next week, well, by the time this comes out, it'll be way past it, but September 3rd, I'm giving a speech at Innovate Boise. And my goal is to get as many.
Which we'll be able to, next episode, I'm excited to hear
absolutely.
about that. Yeah.
Well, because I'm trying to get as many people that know me to show up.
Sure.
Right. To give me an hour of their time to listen to me.
It wasn't in the middle of the day.
I know. It's 11:15 or 11 to 12:30, we'll say. But the thing is I reviewing the tape is awesome because it's not, to me, I don't think it's good enough if I just review it myself because I'm going to have my own biases. Right. But if I have people that I trust that I know will give me critical feedback.
You give me the tape, I'll give you some feedback.
Absolutely. Well, and if it's recorded, which I think it is, I love watching myself on stage and speaking because I know sometimes I get tongue tied and I don't articulate the way I want to articulate, but it helps me speak better next time. Yeah. Right. But the fact that I can admit that, I think helps me review the tape and set me up for success next time. Because I might not go out there and do what I want to do because my goal is to motivate everyone. The call to action is to set up a one-on-one with me to just hear what I'm about, to hear how I can help you be a better you tomorrow.
Well, you're rolling right into number 4.
Yeah.
Reframe the narrative. So as an athlete, you failed at the lift or you failed at, the pitch or whatever it is, not as an athlete. Yep. Or you failed at the speaking engagement. You did not fail as an entrepreneur or a business owner. Right. I think that's huge. I know. I have a lot of friends that will disagree with that one. That I have old school, he's an old school power lifter client friend of mine that like, he is the typical, I suck, I'm not good enough. Like he is that guy. And you couldn't convince him otherwise. If he fails something, it is because he is the worst person walking the planet. It's obviously not true, but that's that mindset part, right? A lot of old school guys and gals are like that. A lot of old school athletes are, if they don't complete it, they suck. They're not worth their weight in salt, right? And I'm sure it's very much the same in your world that you probably deal with that from time to time.
Well, and it's funny is when people are like, well, I sucked, I failed, all this great fun stuff. I always tell myself, even if it's my best presentation, my mediocre presentation, or my worst presentation, I'm still up on stage. Mm-hmm. And it's another notch in my belt of practice.
And you're giving it 100%
every time.
You may not land it 100%.
Yep. Nope.
It might not land it the way you wanted it to go, but you're at least giving 100% effort.
Absolutely.
And it's the same thing with competitions. Athletes are typically giving 100%. It may not go the way you want, but at least you're giving it your all.
Oh yeah.
And that still leaves room for reflection, room for, adjustment.
But you can be humble enough to accept that reflection, accept that adjustment, and not be like, well, no, it failed because I suck and because it was perfect. Well, if you failed, then it wasn't perfect either. You didn't plan enough, or you're shifting the whole idea of who are you blaming? Are you fixing the problem? Or are you fixing the blame? Because if we spend more time fixing the blame instead of the problem, well, then it's a vicious circle and we're going to be right back at it again, which goes into the micro adjust and reattack.
Yeah. So micro adjust and reattack. So implement small tweaks into training, build confidence and momentum bit by bit. Put it all together basically. Yeah. When you have that self-reflection, when you have those failures, you have that time to self-reflect. You have that time to move forward. You have that time to, learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
Now put it all together. How do you get better from that?
Yeah.
How do you build upon your past failures so your future has more successes?
So as we're talking about this, I'm just like having flashbacks of like all the times I failed in the military, all the times I failed just basically in life, and a couple of small, tiny failures in business ownership. What I'm noticing though is I'm going to have a hell of a story, and a story to use as that momentum to motivate someone else that's coming up behind me to be like, it's not going to go your way 100% of the time. You are going to fail, but just because it fails, don't hang up your boots yet. Just because it fails, don't put the weight away on the racks yet, because tomorrow's another day and tomorrow's another clean slate for you to attempt to go ahead and capitalize on that capitalize on that missed opportunity in the aspect of you didn't land it, but why? And then ask people, hey, how's this pitch sound? How does this presentation sound?
Get some feedback.
Does my lift look good? Are my arms, my posture, is it good in that aspect? But it's getting people out of their own damn way, or else they'll never be receptive to that information.
And you're just rolling right through it because
you're getting me pumped, man.
You're right. I mean,
it's my stuff.
It's going the way it should go. So that actually takes us to our challenge. And I want you, the listeners, to think about when was the last time you failed at something, whether athletically or professionally, and what did you learn from that? Did you learn something from that? If you didn't, take the time now to sit down, take 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is, to reflect on your past failures and have a takeaway from that. At least one takeaway moving forward to implement that for your future self. So, last weekend.
Nope. $500 down.
500? I thought it was 400.
Well, I had an extra 100 in my pocket.
Sucks to suck. I think I came back 300 up.
Yeah, I know. You kept on repeating yourself.
Yeah. Well, technically.
Who walked out with money? I did. My name is Tyler.
If someone didn't lose more of my money, not going to say who,
yeah,
I would have came back like 500 up. So,
well, I had fun though. It was fun. I made a mistake at the $10 crap table.
Yeah, that's expensive.
Very expensive. And then I was like, oh God. And I felt like Clark Griswold off of Vegas Vacation. I was like, just one more. And then I was like,
you never played blackjack with me either.
I don't like blackjack.
You never tried it. You said you were going to play.
Yeah. Tables were full. And then
I just played
$25 a hand.
That was the one I was playing the last day.
Oh,
which actually worked. I made like $300.
Yeah. That worked out in your favor.
Yeah.
The one
I like the higher buy-ins for blackjack anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was kind of hoping, I was trying to look to see if they had like a poker tournament, because they don't do poker tournaments. I didn't think
anymore.
So.
Yeah. Get rid of that after.
I've always had the idea of when I retire from the military, I was going to be one of those retirees that would go to the casino in the mornings, play the morning poker tournament for like $40, start my day off gambling, and then throw another 100 at an actual poker table, or go to craps and throw in 100. That was like my retirement goal after the military.
How's that working for you?
We don't have any casinos nearby, so
we might be getting that one out Mountain Home.
No, that would be really cool.
I don't know if that's a good idea, because if it's Mountain Home, what's that, a 45-minute drive?
Yep.
Hey, you want to go spend some money and play some craps?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Do I have a gambling problem? Absolutely not. Do I enjoy it? Yes. Why? Because it allows me to connect with other riffraff.
That was fun. I love gambling. We'll have to go back down, especially since you lost your ass. You have a sour taste in your mouth. So
I don't have sour taste.
Yeah, you do.
I'm excited. Nope. You go to the casino with money that you're okay with losing.
That's true, but it's better when you win, like I did.
It is better.
So,
well, there it is.
So we go down to jackpot this weekend, right? Sunday when we got back, we had our fantasy football draft.
Yeah, which you made fun of me because apparently it's a tight end premium league.
Yes.
But it's a super flex league. So why would I not get the top 2 quarterbacks in the league that I could possibly get? Which
you didn't.
Because I was number 12 out of 12. So I was on the horn. I'll call it, I got Mahomes and Hurst. And you're like, well, Mahomes isn't what he used to be. Cool, but he's still going to give me a lot more points.
We'll see. I sent him a very fair trade. He was like, no, I don't want it.
For one.
It wasn't 1 for 1. It was a good quarterback and a shitty tight end for a good tight end and a shitty quarterback.
So I need you guys to legit comment on this. He wanted to trade me Mahomes for the Tyler Warren, the tight end from the Colts, and Joe Flacco. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Silence. They're not even. They're saying
Warren's going to be. He's going to be potentially a top 5 tight end,
but he's not going to match the amount of production that Mahomes is going to give me every game.
No,
except for his
quarterback. But Flacco won't be that far off. I bet you right now.
Sanders will start and play.
I bet you right now. Flacco will score more points in the first 5 weeks than Mahomes does.
First 5 weeks?
Yep.
What do you want to put on it?
$50.
All right.
Done.
$50.
Yeah. You guys heard that. I just got $50 richer.
So more points. Flacco, more points than Mahomes.
Yes.
In 5 weeks.
Yes.
Psh, done.
As long as barring injury, nobody gets hurt.
When you give me my $50, I want it on the podcast.
Yeah, whatever.
So it's in the history books.
Barring injury.
So
nobody gets hurt.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Mahomes, don't let me down.
Yeah, whatever. It was a lot of fun. We did it here in this room here in the clinic. It was a good time. We had 11 out of 12 people here. Yeah. The only person that wasn't here we had on Zoom, so he was Mr. Roboto.
Yep.
Who had a terrible draft.
I think he got
he drafted Kirk Cousins in the 10th round.
God,
and he's not even a starter.
Yeah. Or Penix.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're ESPN, it's Michael Penis. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, someone misspelled his name and it was Michael Penis on the little graphic. They were like, "What?" And then they quickly dropped the graphic. Changed it.
Tanner wanted, the one guy that was sitting over here, he wanted to draft Cousins and Penix so he could name his team Cousins Penix.
That's awesome.
It would have been great.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to this football season. And
it was a lot of fun.
The league that we're in, because it's the multiverse. So you have to have a Marvel or DC type of name.
Yeah, some sort of fun name.
And I am Fat Thor. Fat Thor. You are
Sexy Pool.
Way off. More like Beta Pool.
No, Sexy Pool. I like it.
But no, it's fun because we utilized the program Fan Draft to do the virtual board.
Well, we had everyone had their own walk-up music.
Yeah, they had
someone had Barbie Girl. Awesome. Someone had WAP.
WAP. Yep.
Yeah. Someone had Show Me Your Genitals.
Who sings that?
His name is John Lajoie.
Is that the guy from the league?
Yeah. Taco? That's Taco.
Oh,
yeah.
Taco.
Have you ever listened to his actual music on YouTube?
But I will now.
You should. It's amazing.
Oh, God.
He's
with the kids in the car.
No. What? Yeah, probably not. He was like early YouTube days. So I loved John Lajoie. Yeah.
No, that was
Aaron had White and Nerdy by Weird Alkovich.
Yeah. Not Joe. Ben had Joe Johnson.
Jack Johnson.
Jax Johnson.
Yeah.
And then, it was fun. It was good.
You had Reba McEntire.
Of course, Fancy. Yeah. Don't let me down.
Yeah.
Well, here's one chance, Fancy. Don't let me down.
So
I think my draft went well. I'm predicted to take third prior to the playoffs, so I will make the playoffs.
Based on what?
Based off the standings.
The fan draft thing?
Yeah.
No, based on mine, I got second best draft. Danny, Dubs, the one that was subbing.
Not
Danny,
fair.
He had the best draft, which I think is stupid. Yeah. He notoriously gets lost in every league.
But you also drafted Scataboo.
Yeah. What? Did you want him?
No, he's not going to start.
Yes, he will.
You think he's going to start?
I think
game one.
Not game one, but he's not a starter for me.
Oh, okay.
He's on my bench.
Who's your top running backs?
McCaffrey and Chase Brown. I have the best running back duo in the league.
If McCaffrey stays healthy,
he's fine, and he has a trend. He either loses you the league or wins you the league, and it goes like this every time.
That's true.
Last year, lost me the league. This year, it's going to win me the league.
Yeah, that's how Kelsey was last year for me when I drafted him.
Yep, I think Kelsey's going to be a stud this year.
Well, yeah, because he married he's engaged. T Swift.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Thank you, NFL, for putting that in our lives. Jesus,
I don't mind it.
God.
So
NFL games are going to be horrible.
In other news, I got a first female on our staff,
which is probably really good for clientele.
Yeah, there's some people just don't like to work with males. It is what it is. So instead of it being 3 dudes currently, now it's 3 dudes and a chick.
Yep.
So that's nice.
Yep.
She is, her name is Shannon. She's fantastic. You've actually worked with her a couple times.
I want to say fantastic because I think that she smiles when she puts me in painful positions, and she
laughs. It's funny.
It's not funny. It hurts.
I think it's hilarious.
It hurts.
Which is good. She should be putting you in some sort of pain.
Into massage, you're supposed to feel good coming after it. Not
How'd you feel after?
Well, I had huge like hickey marks on my back
from the cups.
Yeah, and
make sure you clarify that.
Oh, that's right.
They weren't just hickey marks; they were from the cups.
What's the cup thing called?
Cupping, myofascial decompression.
Okay, yep. From that thing, Majigger. And then, and then you said my hips don't exist.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Yeah,
in a roundabout way.
Yeah.
You have the anatomy of a hip, but your hip don't do hip shit.
Yeah. Don't do hip shit. And she reconfirmed that by trying to make it do hip shit. And my was like, that hurts.
Yeah.
She was like, more pressure.
Well, like we talked about with Justin, you've been really good at doing this for a long time. So your hips don't do the stuff that hips should do.
Yeah.
Move and twist and turn and internal, external rotation and abduction, all that stuff.
Well, it's all, I put it all on Shakira. She said her hips don't lie. And I was
yours do.
How do they lie?
I don't know.
My hips don't lie.
No, they lie.
My hips are just straight and narrow.
Yeah.
Very pure.
So another thing I'd like to announce on here is we're having a grand opening here at Top Tier Massage Therapy and Performance Recovery in October. So it's actually October 15th.
I'm super excited.
Tentatively, we're looking at 5 to 8 p.m.
Ooh.
I'm hoping we get a lot of people here.
Am I allowed to be there?
We'll see.
Okay.
TBD.
Okay.
TBD. I think I've got like 6 or 7 people committed to being vendors already.
That's awesome.
I'm hoping we have upwards of 20.
That'd be cool.
And then
we got the room for it.
We have the room because we're going to fill that parking lot outside. So we'll have 3 or 4 or 5 vendors inside. One will be my tattoo artist, Tony, from Chariot Tattoo. He's going to be here most likely. I'll know for sure this week, but he'll be here slinging tattoos. Him and his the girl that works with him at his shop, which would be super cool. Curious to see how that goes. I also, this week, I'm going to try to, if anybody knows of anyone that would want to do this, I'm trying to get a hold of a brewery and or a winery and see if they want to set up shop. And
I might be able to help you with the brewery.
Yeah, let's
like
do
legit, because there's a veteran-owned brewer in Caldwell, I think.
I know who you're talking about.
And they're all about like getting their name out there and stuff. So we can reach out.
Let's get them here. Yeah. I want this to be a party. We went to that one last week, that grand opening, and it was okay.
Yep. Not a lot of people showed up.
There was kind of 2 dozen. You think? Like I said, if there's not 100 people here, I think it's a fail.
Remember what we talked about earlier?
Yeah. Well, that's the goal, right? I'll reflect on it afterwards if it doesn't happen. But I think realistically, between all the people I've talked to, the organizations that I've spoken with, BNI and GOL and everything, I think realistically we could easily get upwards of at least close to 100 people here.
I think so.
Yeah, and within that 3-hour window.
Well, and we got time.
Well, and then I've not only got time, I'm already on it. I've got the flyers ready to go. We're having Ava Flava. She's going to cater it for us, so it's going to be healthy, macro friendly food, which is actually really good. She's culinarily trained. She was actually on Hell's Kitchen too, which is super cool.
Yep. Mini celeb.
Yeah. And then I was talking to Tony today too, and he said, because I was like, man, I want this to be like a party, and talking about a band. He's like, it's like, if I could afford a band, I'd put a band here, right? And he's like, well, I might know a guy that would probably do it for nothing or little to nothing. So might have a band here too.
Donations.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, so
that'd be awesome because October 15th is a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday. Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool midweek and have a bunch of people here and just get new ideas or new eyes on like what you're trying to do, what I'm trying to do, Alexa's trying to do, Sarah's trying to do, and just showcase this whole spot that you're building here for all of us, but not only us, but for the community of which we're trying to serve.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I told everyone at BNI, I was like, it's my thing. It's for Top Tier, but I want to showcase everyone else too.
Yeah.
You want to be here. If I like you, pop up.
So
if I don't like you, you're not going to be here.
So you like me? So
I didn't say, I said TBD. Do you not remember?
No.
Memory of a goldfish. Yeah. No, TBD memory on you. No, I think it'll be a lot of fun.
So outside of that, what is between now and then, what is the most exciting thing that you're currently working on?
we got a couple events coming up. We're going to be at the Thrive Festival. I believe that's September 27th. So that's going to be downtown jump. Then we have I guess it'll be before that. It'd be October 10th, 11th. That Friday, Saturday. I think it's 10th, 11th. It's the Mountain West Fitness Championships, which is a CrossFit event over the CrossFit Canvas where I have my second location. They're going to be doing a really big event in Caldwell. I believe it's like the biggest CrossFit event around in Idaho for sure. Like one of the biggest ones here in the Northwest sort of thing. They'll have like 1,200. Last year, I think 1,200 people came through. That's cool. And they'll have upwards of like 350 to 400 competitors, something in that range.
Where's that at?
It's at the Caldwell Event Center.
Okay.
So it's new. I haven't been to that one yet. I've been to the old one, which is the O'Connor Fieldhouse.
Yeah.
I know it's close to it, but I don't know exactly where it's at yet.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. That'll be kind of awesome to see.
We got a couple things coming up.
Yeah. I know we talked about possibly doing a podcast on location. And I think that was the one, right?
Yes, that would be the one to,
That'd be kind of cool to do like flash.
Little mini interviews.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like a couple questions and just go with it. Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. What about you? Anything coming up?
Just
you got the thing on the 3rd.
Yep. Next week I got the speaking arrangement, and then now I'm just really pushing in the that Thrive and Transition.
What about the VEA thing? Can you talk about that or
VEA thing?
The parade thing.
Oh yeah. I got tapped to sit on the board for it's not the VEA, it's the Idaho Vet Parade Council.
That's what it was.
But I got offered to serve as the vice chair for the rest of this year and next year. To kind of see how it operates. And then if everything goes good and the board likes me, they'll vote me in or see if I want to be the president of it. I already got huge ideas to make it awesome. I'm all about like connecting and networking with all the veterans. See, the thing is this is like the exciting thing that I'm working on, right? Is I'm trying to build an already established community of helping the vets take care of themselves, but help the community know how to help the vets.
I think that's one of the biggest issues, I think. Because nobody knows how to help.
Well, because everyone wants to do their own thing and they're sitting in their own corner, they're sitting in their own silo. And it's like, if we just communicated a little bit more veteran nonprofit to nonprofit and realize that we're helping the same community, we're not competitors, this state would be amazing.
Too many people look at that stuff as being competitive though, because you want your nonprofit to do better than the other nonprofit.
But then
it's stupid.
Yeah, but why are you in the purpose of that nonprofit then? If your purpose isn't to help serve the community of which your nonprofit's based off of, not veteran.
Why most people are doing that. Most people are involved in money. Not only make the money, it's the hey, look at me, look what I can do.
Yeah,
look what I do for the community. I'm better than you because I do this for the community.
Yeah. Well, and
it's the whole virtue signaling thing you see on Instagram where someone comes up and they help the homeless, but they're sitting there recording the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
If you were actually a good person helping the people, you wouldn't do it just for likes and clicks on Instagram.
No, that's very true. Well, and the thing is too, and I think that's what really gets me fired up when it talks about like all these nonprofits helping the veterans or helping anybody. It's like, what is your purpose and passion behind it? And why are you truly doing it? Because if it's not coming out in your actions, but it's only coming out in your words, then you're full of shit. Right.
Yep.
I don't have time for that. And I don't even want to be associated with anything like that. And that's why I've been partnering up very, very strategically with certain
selectively
with certain nonprofits for that reason. Right. Because this state, Idaho, is supposed to be known as like the Texas of the North because of everything that it does. But the veteran community is somewhat underserved. And it's not because people aren't out there to do it. Everyone's fighting for each other first before they're helping out veterans. We don't want handouts. We want hand ups. We don't want money. We want opportunities to make money, right? I don't want you to give me $3,000 a month just because I'm a veteran. I want you to be like, hey, if I teach you this and I connect you with this company or this group, and I tell you, hey, you can make 5 times more, 15,000. What would you rather do? Get 3,000 or 15? I'll do 15,000 and I have to grind. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing that I'm trying to get out there with my message. And so I appreciate you asking.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think this was a good episode.
No, it was.
Yeah. I think it's a good place to stop. So
no, absolutely. Cool.
Till next time. Whoop. Whoop, whoop. Thank you for listening to the Synergy Code podcast. If you haven't already, please subscribe and follow us on all platforms. To stay up to date with all things Synergy Code, follow us at the Synergy Code Pod on social media.